Hey everyone, this is Adam Ellenboss from Nightlight Astrology. Happy Monday and Happy New Year to everybody. Hope that you guys had a nice weekend and hopefully a nice New Year's Eve. And today I hope you're able to rest and relax and reflect a little bit as we start a new year. I am coming on today not with new content, but with some announcements to say a thank you at the conclusion of our Kickstarter and to tell you a little bit about how the Kickstarter works for those who pledged from this point forward in terms of how your payments are processed and in terms of how rewards are distributed. And then I'll make an announcement about programming for the week. So so you guys know our goal was 1,777 backers. We set that goal because it means that we've shown growth from the previous year as the audience has grown almost 10,000. We hope to do a little bit better in terms of the amount of support we can generate as a business from the audience. And we did that. We rallied the support of 1,936 backers, which is about 159 backers over our goal for the year. So that's fantastic. We grew the support for the channel as the audience has expanded. The support expanded this year, and we really, really appreciate that. We also set that number because we know that if our projections are that if we hit that number or greater, we should land in the ballpark of what we need financially to fund all of our projects and the things that we designate from the Kickstarter revenue. So we earned about $378,000, which is absolutely amazing. After Kickstarter fees, credit card processing fees, and taxes, that lands us in the ballpark of what we needed. So we're really, really satisfied with that number. And it helps us do the following things, because I think it's valuable for you guys to know what this does, even if you heard me say it a few times before. It helps with our staff overhead. There's a whole team that goes into making sure that this content goes out and that there's the space that I need in my day to be able to sit and do the content and then distribute it. So the Kickstarter earnings help tremendously with our staff overhead. They also help us with, in this year, we're going to be developing an affordable reading service, which the success of the Kickstarter will definitely allow us to do. In addition to that, it will help us revamp the website, which is going to be needed in order to support the affordable reading service. So there's a lot of that will take place. And I will be keeping you guys posted on the development of that. And also for all the people who will ask questions about how to participate, I'll also be talking about what the application process will look like for alumni of Nightlight programs later in the year. Number 4 is that this success helps keep all of our courses on sliding scales, a byproduct of the Kickstarter's success, because the Kickstarter acts as a kind of sale for a lot of our schools' programs, right? And so the success of the Kickstarter on that level allows us to have a lot of people coming into the programs who may not be able to pay that much for the program. And so it's just a byproduct of the Kickstarter's success is that there's less pressure on the programs to perform at some level financially. And that's really nice because that means that we can have a generous amount of students coming in who are saying, hey, I can afford this amount because I'm in a tougher spot financially. The success of the Kickstarter helps keep our offerings more accessible overall. And we for this reason, I really love this model of it's an interesting model to generate support for the channel, right? And because it does a lot of things at once. Anyway, number 5, obviously this is part of how I earn my living. So thank you. You're directly contributing to my ability to support myself and my family. And I really, really appreciate that. Now, obviously, I want to talk to you about how charges work. If you're one of the people who pledged, Kickstarter is going to charge your card today. Even if you pledged 4 weeks ago, no pledges are taken or charged on your card until the Kickstarter is over, which means your card will be charged today. Number 2 is if for some reason your card declines, you will receive an email from Kickstarter telling you that your card declined, and you need to go into your Kickstarter account that you set up with your email address and either change the card or call your bank and make sure that they're not flagging the transaction, which sometimes happens, especially when you're buying like a class pass because it's a little higher, right? So you want to look into that. We ask that you do that quickly because Kickstarter delays the distribution of funds until they go through the process of trying to collect all the failed or declined transactions. And there's bound to be a few when you've got 1,936 backers. Totally get it, no big deal. But if you get that email, be sure to check spammer promotions too, just to make sure that they didn't send you anything letting you know. And we'll send you an email as well if the card failed and you need to update it or call your bank or something, just because sometimes they do flag transactions. So those are things to note about how the charges or our pledges are collected. Now, when it comes to the rewards, we will email you through Kickstarter. So again, be sure you check your spam or promotions folders, because there's a good chance that if you're not hearing from us about the receipt of your getting your reward that you pledged for, it's because the email went into spam or promotions, maybe because it was coming from Kickstarter and your email, your email program said, oh, this looks like spam. So make sure you check that. We will email you through Kickstarter with instructions detailed on how to collect your reward. If it's a downloadable calendar, or if it's a downloadable talk, or a downloadable reading, or if I'm doing the reading, I'll email you through Kickstarter asking you to send me your birth data, right? So it's like very important that in the next few days you look to your emails, and if you haven't heard from us for some reason, check spam or promotions. Of course, if there's anything that in the next 3 or 4 days you don't hear from us, you check spam or promotions, you don't see anything there, for whatever reason, I have no idea why that would happen. But if there's any problem, you can email us, info@nightlightastrology.com. Me and our staff will be working diligently to get those rewards out to you this week. The only rewards that take a tiny bit more time are the ones I make personally, and those were a limited amount of personal recordings that I make for people. Those take me 2 to 3 weeks. So in the next 2 to 3 weeks, you'll receive a downloadable reading from me for. But make sure you'll see an email from me asking for your birth date. I can't make it for you until you send that to me. So if you got that reward in particular, the mini reading with me, then yeah, just pay attention for that request for your birth information. When it comes to class passes, we will give you an email, and in the email, you'll learn all about how you can use them and how to get registered. You'll get a link. You'll get links sent to you to download things if there's something that you got that's a downloadable content, like a masterclass or one of the pre-recorded readings that we did for, say, your Cancer Rising horoscope for 2024, whatever it is. So anyway, that about sums it up. The final announcement is that final note is that our moon circle, Roots and Spheres, begins on January 11th with the new moon in Capricorn. There were quite a few people who wrote to us saying, I'm so sorry, I don't have the money to donate for the Roots and Spheres moon circle through the Kickstarter. And I was wondering if you had affordable tuition. And if you look on the website, you'll find that, yes, of course, we do for all of our programs. So if you go to the Roots and Spheres portion of the Nightlight Astrology website and click on the courses, go down to Roots and Spheres, and at the bottom, you'll notice that there is tuition assistance. So if you're someone who wanted to join the Moon Circle, you couldn't afford even the Kickstarter rate on it, and you wanted to join, this is why we do the Kickstarter, so that people can, this is one of the great byproducts of the Kickstarter. All of our programs have this option available. So if you wanted to join us, just reach out for that affordable tuition assistance if needed. We start on the 11th, so just be sure to do it the next couple of days. So I got a bunch of emails about that, so I thought I ought to mention that. And then the final thing is, so when in the last week of the Kickstarter, usually week or two, I'm often making double content, right? I'm making content for Saturdays and Sundays. I'm making content and doing live streams. So this first week of the year, because I record everything a week out, and so what you'll see, any given week is probably been recorded the previous week. And so because of that, this week, what I'm doing is I'm pressing reset and I'm allowing myself to get caught up so that next week content is rolling again. So you won't have any content Monday through Friday. However, I highly recommend looking back at all of the amazing different content. Go into the live portion. You'll see a lot of live streams I did. If you missed those, there's a lot of good content in there. Some really good horoscope videos you could watch if you missed of the past few days. There's a lot of other content in December that came out that served as kind of like bonus content. So maybe you do a little catching up this week, and regular programming Monday through Fridays will be back next Monday. So again, I want to say thank you to everybody. We deeply appreciate it. I love this community. I love how the philosophy of this just sort of open-hearted exchange that's behind the intention of the Kickstarter. Once again, it came through this year, and I have all of you to thank for that. And my promise to you is we're going to keep making you the best, most spiritually focused, fun, interesting, enlightening content that I can come up with. And I hope to grow as a person more and serve you better in the year ahead. And I deeply appreciate your support, and so does my family and staff. We all really appreciate you guys and hope you'll have a very blessed 2024. And I look forward to seeing you all again next week.